She was nominated for both a Grammy and a Tony, and we continue our visit with the delightful Carmen Cusack, who is, of course, one of the stars of the great film with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
It's coming up.
Oh
okay,
God.
so
Yes. Right.
I want to talk about, because
So that's film.
That's film,
Yeah.
the film world.
Yeah.
But for years, you've been on Broadway. You've been doing all the musical theater thing. Yeah.
Well, I will say not for years I've been on Broadway, because my debut on Broadway was Bright Star. I spent 14 years in the UK, and a lot of my stage work was on the West End stage.
Wow.
There, and then they saw me audition for Wicked in Great Britain, and they said, "Well, you're kind of half British, but you're like 100% American." I was like, "Yeah, pretty much." So
but I heard you break into the British thing just before the break.
Accent.
I can't or I can't.
Yeah, I hear it too.
And that's because a lot of my adult life was over there, and so a lot of my work was over there. And they saw me there and brought me over to the States, and I landed in Chicago and started off with Wicked here back in the States, and it just kind of carried on from there. But my debut was Bright Star.
How about
Wow.
that? Yeah.
Broadway.
And what was that moment? I mean, what was that like when you were nominated for a Tony for that?
It's just like dreams come true.
Yeah, I bet. Right?
I mean, 5 years old, I'm in my head coming up with my thank you speeches, and maybe one of these days I'll be able to get up there and thank somebody. But
Thank all the little people, right?
Just to get invited to that, it just did really feel like waking up every morning, pinching myself that I'm here in New York City doing this and working with these amazing people. And
You know what always amazes me when I look at a Broadway operation of any kind, the amount of work that goes into it, number one. Number two, like on the weekends you do not one but two shows in that day.
Yep.
Your vocal chops are incredible. I mean, you really have to have the stamina to do this. It's like an athlete, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm so thankful that I did opera training in college at University of North Texas. And I swear by that. Right. And then I had gospel roots, so I was able to kind of mix and match, and then that kind of landed me in to be able to do all these various styles. But I always thank
So you have a routine that you do where you vocal exercises and things?
Ish.
Yeah.
It depends on the role. Sometimes you can't work it too much, because then you got to save it for the
like
3
Elphaba
hours on stage.
the Wicked music is really, I mean, there's a lot of big notes in that.
Yeah.
in that
Yeah,
show.
and by the end of the show, I remember trying to muster up the energy to wash the green off.
Yeah, I bet, all over.
That was no joke.
Yeah.
But I found Bright Star to be really almost like speaking. It was just, it felt.
It spoke to you?
Well, it felt so. The singing, the style of the singing
almost
became
like
so
speaking,
close to where I am, just completely, utterly in my bones, deep down, my roots, that I didn't feel like I needed to put on any other particular hat, but just felt like breathing.
Right.
To sing that kind of music.
And it's not often that, I mean, I guess some big names transition from Broadway into musical careers, like on their own solo artists. Did I hear that you're recording an album and working on your...
Always working.
Always working on it.
Always working. I have recorded about 5 songs so far, but I have a few more to go. I'm looking for a producer and just kind of keeping my options open right now, and I'm still writing. I'm writing a lot at the moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go through those dry spells.
All right, so
this summer was a bit of a dry spell.
You said something about North Texas. So you writing country songs? What kind of music do you like to sing?
Ish. I can't really I can't put myself in any particular category, but my roots are gospel, soul, indie, country, folk. I mean, where do you... Somebody once called
with
it
a British
swamp.
accent.
I'm sorry, wait a minute.
Hold on.
The category is called swamp.
I'm digging it. I'm totally digging that.
That's awesome.
I'll take it.
That's awesome.
That's funny. Oh, look at that! You were Steve Martin.
Wait, you were with Steve Martin?
Yeah,
playing a
Bright
banjo.
That's right, Bright Star.
He's a picker.
Look
There
at
he is.
One of
that.
the best pickers in the world.
Yeah, that's
He really
true.
is. He's terrific. The thing about all of this to me is that you're an artist no matter what, complete artist from beginning to end. You started as a young lady when you were a little girl to now, and now you're moving into film. So this is like a complete story for you.
My mind continues to be blown by the possibilities. It's very
Well,
exciting.
we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming.
Great to have you
Thank
with
you
us,
for
and
having
continued
me.
success to you. Can't
Thank
wait
you.
to see
See
the movie.
the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
How
too.
exciting. All right, we'll be right back.